Hello everyone, in today's episode we will be discussing and ranking the species included in the 2024 Player's Handbook.
But instead of doing the tired old ranking system from S to F, let's try something a little bit different. Let's play a game of Smash or Pass.
Oh, a little bit more old school then.
Yeah. I'm Eugene.
And I'm Eddie, and welcome to another episode of
The
Middle-Aged Barbarians.
Here on Middle-Aged Barbarians, we like to cover a wide range of topics, from tips and tricks on how to run your games, class and monster analysis, media and adventure reviews, and news updates. So whether you're new to the RPG scene, or a seasoned player, an aspiring DM in the making, or a jaded veteran like us,
Stick around to watch this pair of guys be barbaric and tear your boredom to shreds.
All right,
Okay.
So before us we have the 10 species that are included in the 2024 Player's Handbook.
There we go. Here they are,
Right here.
summarized a little
Now, we have descriptions and we have previous experience with
bit. The old versions.
the older versions. So the idea is kind of, let's look at what they are now compared to how they were before in a way, and decide if we would smash, which means we would actually, play with the species,
Yes.
or
no,
pass.
no other meaning behind that.
I mean, maybe. Why not?
Sure.
And you know why it's going to be so hard to decide whether or not?
Why?
Our first contestant. Our first species, we're going in alphabetical order,
There we
is
go.
the Asimar. I mean, the name itself is...
Yeah, and plus it also sounds like ASMR, so that kind of gives you a different vibe.
It's very enticing to play with the Asimar. Or
There-
Asimar.
there
How do
you
you
go.
pronounce that?
The second way.
Asimar.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, Asimars are angelic beings infused with celestial power. I think all the species now move at 30 feet at base, except
Yes.
for the Goliath, which is 35.
There you go. Yes.
So there's no more slowpokes in the groups.
No, which means we lose some other things, but it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Now they have celestial resistance, dark vision, magical healing hands. I mean, sensual healing. Dude, come on.
yeah. It sounds enticing, like you say. Yes.
They're light bearers, which basically means they can cast the light cantrip. And they have the celestial revelation ability, which they can transform. So if you're feeling a little frisky, they can sprout some heavenly wings. The shining light from their eyes and mouth with the inner radiance is a little weird. Although it does remind me a little bit of the Fifth Element. That part at the end where
where
Leo Dallas just
launches
freaks
it.
out and shoots out that energy. So that could be kind of...
And I'm guessing for the more kinky people, they could their angelic version could be like biblically accurate angels and have like a ton of eyes and not a pair, but a million wings and so forth.
That kind of an angel? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, if you're into that, I guess.
And they also have the necrotic shad, where their eyes briefly become pools of darkness and sprout flightless wings, which is just kind of like flavor, I guess. So honestly, I've never played with an ASMR,
Oh, I have, yes.
so I don't know. I defer to your expertise.
Well, back in the day, they had an equivalent character level. You had to take one level when they were first introduced, which is in third. So yeah, they were really, really powerful.
Oh, wait a minute. I remember there was like a Lupino, all like
Yeah.
the Celestials.
Yeah, they had like
where it's
specialists.
from, isn't it?
Yes, they had like different Asimars with different specialist versions depending on which celestial ancestry they had.
Okay.
Now they just kind of went away with that. So it's just basically your base Asimar, which kind of it's a little bit odd because they don't really look like angels. I mean, I don't feel the angel vibe unless they have their wings. So that's odd, or a halo or something like that.
I mean, just by the description alone, I would relate this to either a cleric or a paladin, maybe a warlock, but I think that kind of goes like against the vibe of the spooky warlock.
Yeah, but you could do. Well, we no longer have celestial packs, right? Nowadays.
I don't think. Producer, did they announce celestial like subclasses or packs?
For warlocks, not anymore, right? No, that was back in the day. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work as well.
I mean, it's all flavor now, anyways. So
Yeah, I guess you can kind of mutate it. I mean, mechanics-wise, they're good. I mean, they have some very interesting bonuses. The wings ability, I just kind of don't really like the whole vibe check. I mean, they're attractive in that way, but in the mechanics way, I don't know. I don't feel like a full fantasy coming up onto me. So
you'll pass.
I'll probably pass. Yeah, I'm a little more weird than that.
No, I concur, man. I have to pass as well. So ASMR will pass. See, now this is the part where our editor is going to put up the picture and then just put like a boom, pass, or smash.
Or a sort of Twinder swiping thing, maybe. I don't know. We're too old for that ourselves, but
or maybe he'll just edit this whole part out and anyway.
Put in the bloopers.
Next up, now I know this is a particularly favored species, although it probably has some competition from the Goliath. But we got the Dragonborns.
The Dragonborn, okay.
Dragonborn screams muscle mommy vibes to me.
Yeah, and Scalies. If you're not familiar with that, that's another subculture. I mean, you're probably familiar with that. Come on.
I mean, we pretty much, we know Dragonborns are kind of the same, depending on their lineage. Then they have different abilities depending on the chromatic or the metallic dragon they come from, with a resistance, breath weapon, dark vision.
They improved the breath weapon. Now you can choose whether you use a line or a cone.
That's good.
That's good, yeah. More versatility, like we just said, in everything. So, yeah, they improved quite a bit of things in them.
And I think when you get farther along your level, then they get flight, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
although I don't think it's a constant flight speed.
No, they get more time than Asimars, but they do get the ability to fly.
Now, the description is what me particularly kind of turns me off when we're talking about smashing, because they got thick bones, like thick bony features with horns on their heads.
And they get tail. Doesn't this make you curious, a tail?
No, not really. Sorry.
No, I guess not.
You guys can't tell, but the producer is looking at us with looks of disgust, and I don't care.
And disapproval, yeah, but I mean, it's content, I guess.
Although Dragonborns, I think, are what you were mentioning with the ASMR, like you didn't feel that fantasy vibe.
No, here we got it.
This is full-fledged fantasy. I mean, a bipedal human dragonoid character that can now actually play any class and come in and kick ass.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like, and like you said, muscle mummies. I'm into muscle mummies, so I guess I would smash this.
Yeah, I'd smash too. So Dragonborn, smash. What do you got? You got the next ones. What's up?
Well, next one is a oldie but a goodie, dwarves. You know your old dwarves. Like the way the ability improvements have changed, they're more viable in many more options.
Although I think, and this is something we discussed, I think a couple weeks ago, they're a little less viable for other classes than they were before. You were mentioning that.
Yeah, they usually were really good with heavy armor because they had a special ability that was meant for them to use heavy armor. So
and they had the dwarven weapon proficiency,
and those are gone. No,
so you even gave the example, which I thought was kind of cool because I never thought about doing something like that, which would have been a dwarven wizard, and he would have maybe not access to the armor because I think that kind of messed with spellcasting before. But when he ran out of spells and stuff, he just whip out that big hammer and start knocking people over.
Plus the proficiencies to crafting and some other stuff help. But yeah, it's different. I mean, it's more baseline, I guess. Supposedly we have backgrounds for that, but
here we're talking about species.
Yeah. I mean, dwarves. I do remember in basic mythology. Do you remember how female dwarves look in Tolkien's universe?
I think they were just like regular dwarves. They all had beards.
Yes.
Although in the Rings of Power...
Oh, they changed that.
What are you laughing at?
Don't go there.
It's a sensitive topic, Rings of Power? Yeah, I agree.
I saw like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I think they had beards, but they were just shorter.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm sure somebody's going to be, no, female dwarves were actually... I don't know.
It's kind of difficult in that aspect to think of that. But, I mean, the class is still good. It's one of the best. It has always been one of the better classes for martial things. And
I mean, flavor-wise, you can't negate, dwarves are staples in medieval fantasy. And so, I mean, there's always going to be, even if they're just an NPC or something, dwarves are there, at least for me. I'm definitely smashing a dwarf.
Yeah, for sure. And craftsmanship and everything that. Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm not going to get your beard tattooed on my arm, but...
Why not? I mean, mine beer's nice, white and black. It's got an interesting pattern here, kind of like a skunk or something like that.
We'll talk about that later. So, dwarves smash. There you go. We might get problems with the way we say smash.
Elves is kind of one of the species that we always found kind of annoying, and I always took me a little bit of time to think why, to figure out why it sounds so annoying to us. I think it's the attitude of arrogance and being like mightier than thou, more beautiful, more better, more everything.
Yeah, there's a definitely ego trip thing there with the elves. Now in the new edition,
they now come from the Feywild, and they have always.
I'm not in love with the whole you can be a drow like from level 1 and you don't have light sensibilities, and they changed it up there. I mean, elves now, if I'm not mistaken, they get like certain spells and learn more spells depending on their lineage and some other abilities. The only one I know, because my wife is playing a wood elf cleric, is they have higher speed, like a 35 speed. I'm not sure what the
other elves still always get different spells.
The high elves and the drows and different things, but I don't like that change. I do not like the drows being there. Not that you can't play as a drow, but the way they're dealing with the drow.
I'm guessing there's going to be a feeling that you're going to have on every species that would have been more of an enemy species or an NPC species. I'm guessing they're kind of shying away from having those species to be exclusively antagonists. So yeah, that's I guess is where you get it from, and they don't feel as special as.
But now here, my own argument for dwarves is going to be used against me because they are also, I believe, staples in Tolkien-esque fantasy. So you can't really get rid of them. Would I play an elf? Maybe. If I wanted to be
I've played an elf. I mean, for Munchkin reasons, yes, and they're still valid in that aspect, of course.
Oh, I'd be an elf just to be a prick. Oh shit! Can I say that? Sorry. Yeah, I'd play an elf just to be a pompous, arrogant,
annoying.
I mean, since we don't have Eladrins anymore, which I thought Eladrins were even worse than elves before, then I'll just be a very pompous high elf.
There we go.
Until I get my teeth kicked in or something.
Which you probably won't, because you have like various abilities to get away, which is fun.
All right, so elf, smash or pass, Eddie?
I don't know. We should have done like marry, kill, and so forth.
we could do another game with that later. I would say smash, but not publicly.
There we go. Same.
I would be a closet elf player.
There we go. Yeah, I'd probably say that I'm something different and kind of wear a hoodie all the time.
Just cut off the tips of your ears.
Yeah, maybe. I'm a very odd halfling. A very tall halfling.
Very tall halfling.
Which is very strange. I read someone critiquing that about elves. You know, elves are supposed to be really shorter than humans.
But they become taller and taller, I think, from before.
Yeah, people want to make them like really tall. I mean, kind of fits the aesthetic of them being like all lithe and handsome and so forth. But anyway. It's not a cup of tea. No.
Speaking about cups of tea.
Gnomes.
Little teacups.
Yeah, little teacups made by the god of inventions. They usually come from the. I don't know if it's the same lore nowadays, but they usually also come from the Feywild, and they have to have a little bit of wanderlust for them to be able to survive.
I think there's two distinctions now. It's the forest gnome and the mountain gnome. I think are the two like divisions with the gnome species.
Rock gnomes, yeah. It gives you. They have advantages to saves, and they have different abilities depending on their lineage. Gnomes are a complicated race. I mean, back in the day, because of the speed problems, which were kind of offset because you had bonuses to AC due to being small, which are not a thing anymore, if I'm not mistaken.
No. And now I think they don't have to be small. I think they can. Oh wait, do they? I think those are small, but there's another one that can choose to be medium. Like even your size doesn't really matter much.
No, because mechanically it's basically the same.
Yeah. But before, like you're saying, you'd have a +1 to AC against bigger creatures. I think you'd have a -1 to hit or something.
You had penalties to damage.
Damage, yeah, something like that.
Your damage die changed and your weapon as well.
I think gnomes are fun species in a way. I don't think I've actually played a gnome either.
The only time I had gnomes is when my girlfriend plays. She always likes to play gnome, and but it's more kind of the cottagecore aesthetic, I guess. In a way, you wanna live in that sort of idea, that sort of fantasy, which I mean, it's not really.
Well, that's cool. Not for me, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I guess since my girlfriend is always a gnome, I guess I'll definitely smash. So
I would have to pass on the gnomes. I mean, in the party that I'm running with the noobs, one of them is a gnome, forest gnome rogue, and it's just a little tiny, terrified creature. I almost feel bad because I had some lizard folk come in and ravish her town and take her parents captive, and
make them to soup or something like that.
they were chomping on some in the center pyre in the
Oh my god.
in the courtyard. But yeah, no, I'll pass on the gnomes. What's next?
Oh, speaking of muscle mothers,
I don't think that's the way you say it, but okay.
yeah, I'm always bad at conjugating slang.
The Goliath.
The Goliath. Yeah.
When did Goliaths first appear? Because I think that was in Eberron.
Yeah, they were from Eberron. They were kind of half giants. In a way, I think they're kind of a evolution from second edition from the Mul, which were a crossbreed of, if I'm not mistaken, dwarfs and ogres. Yeah, they were kind of.
That would be an interesting.
No, it's crazy. For some reason, they became bald. So there's these massive bald guys that are really stout, and they're fighters, and they live like maximum age like 40. They live like nothing, and they're usually gladiators.
Okay.
Crazy. So I'm guessing it's kind of the evolution of that in a little bit. And there used to be kind of this weird medium sort of large as well back in the day. Now they're firmly medium, but they're really tall. They're like 6-7 feet tall.
Yeah, they're like scraping the roof of medium.
Yes. And well, they kind of look like different sorts of giants, but if I'm not mistaken, they're just made they give you a different ancestry.
Yeah, there's different ancestries depending if it's from a fire giant, from a storm giant, a cloud giant, another giant, and the other giant, and all the giants that are there, and they all have their own abilities. I think it's kind of interesting. Again, a newer player, because now I have a fifth player with us.
Oh, that's cool.
Another person has decided to come and suffer with us at the table, and he is playing. I think you like his character. He is a cloud giant Goliath, and he is a bard.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's even like the whole description was like he's not confrontational. He's more charismatic. He was always bullied and this and that. And so it's an interesting mix. Something I would have never thought of before.
Yeah, this huge thing comes into a tavern, kind of goes to grab something.
And he pulls out his loot.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that sounds for me. Or like me pulling out my drawing stuff and starting to draw.
And it's useful because I think the cloud giant has Misty Step or something as their the species ability that they get. And he even surprised us the other day using it to get up on top of a tree and shooting down the last flying kobold that was trying to get away.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's interesting. I would smash.
Yeah, yes, they're very good. They're a very good species in both ways, both aesthetically and I mean, since we're both pretty tall, we like pretty tall things as well.
Yeah, we should do that for next Halloween.
Yeah, sure.
We'll come here as Goliaths.
But do they grow beards, or will we have to shave?
I mean, it depends. Do you watch Vox Machina?
No.
Oh, he has a beard. Oh, get over it. The cartoon's pretty good.
My girlfriend's watching it, and she insists that I watch it as well. But she's now on the 3rd season, so.
Yeah, I think I have 2 episodes left on the last season. I enjoy it, even though the producer cringes when we mention it. So, I don't know. So what's next? What do we got?
Well, the species not named after a particular species that has legal copyright by the Tolkien state, which is halflings.
They live in hills with little round doors.
There you go. And they're kind of like small humans. They used to have hairy feet. Not anymore, I guess, because that was...
They don't have hairy feet anymore?
I'm not sure.
I'm ducking down.
Should we double check now?
No, I think they have hairy feet.
No, they still have hairy feet,
They
but
have to have hairy feet.
but they're not as pudgy as the other H word.
No, I think they have one of the coolest abilities, which is the Lucky.
No, Lucky's an awesome ability. Yeah, that's super good.
It's broken.
It's super
I mean, even
good.
like the feet, I think you can only use maybe 3 times a day. They always have it.
Yeah, it's super good. I mean, it's crazy. Even with the slight disadvantages that it gives you being small, it's super good. And for roguish or spellcasting builds, it doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. So I definitely.
yeah.
I'd
super-
smash a little Hobbit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of kinky.
halfling,
But
sorry.
censor that.
Nah, don't censor it. Let it through. I got some Bilbo Baggins on your forehead. Next up is the human species.
Oh, well, humans are humans.
I mean, I don't think I need to get into much more description. You get an extra feat. You get an extra skill. I mean,
you choose your ability modifier, right, or something like that.
that's background. Remember?
Oh, that's in background.
different.
Sorry, they changed.
They
it.
have an extra or a constant heroic inspiration with the skill resourceful. So every day you have at least one reroll.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's that skillful and versatile, which is the extra origin. I mean, usually my default species will be a human.
Yeah, plus they didn't go the way of making different lineages or different sorts of species in this base, which, I mean, would be probably something you can do for your campaign, which could make sense.
Yeah, if you want. I wouldn't deal with it. But yeah, definitely I would be smashing on the humans.
It would be odd not to.
And let's see what you think about the next one. Who do you think is next?
Orcs is...
Orcos, the orcs. Now, tall and broad, they have gray skin, ears sharply pointed, and prominent lower canines that resemble small tusks.
Oh, like boars.
They get dark vision, they get adrenaline rush, which gives them a dash bonus action, and relentless endurance, which instead of going to 0 hit points, they go to 1 instead, once per day.
If you're a barbarian as well, you can do that a couple more times.
You know, I don't know. I think about orcs, I think about half orcs, and then as somebody mentioned in a comment a while back, I think about the Warhammer orcs.
Warhammer 40k or regular Warhammer?
I don't think they specified. Just the big nasty green orcs. Producer wants to smash a big nasty green orc. He says
Because the 40k ones are all male. So, yeah, they're a fungus.
what? No,
I will
I'm
talk
not-
about
no,
that
no, I'm not
later.
getting into that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, orcs, they're a good martial species.
They're also more viable as a sort of stout spellcaster, like a cleric or a druid. They
Yeah.
changed a couple of things. The resilience is good. I mean, mechanically, they're very good. They're better than half orcs because half orcs were really constraining what they could do. And now they're more versatile, which is kind of good. But the sort of thing is the flavor. I don't know about.
Yeah, I think this may go along the route of the elf for me. I mean,
Yeah,
I might play an orc sometime, but I'm not going to tell anybody that actually played it.
A little bit ashamed or a little bit really a non-typical orc.
I'd go full typical.
Stereotypical.
I'd stereotype that orc.
It reminds me. I really liked in a campaign we played. I had a half orc character, but it wasn't a half orc. It was a cursed human. So mechanically, it had the same mechanics of an orc, but he was like a human cursed at birth. So he's kind of monstrous. It was called a
I'm thinking Sloth from Goonies.
Yeah, something like that. Like sloth. There we go. Yeah, something like that. He was like cursed at birth, so he was abnormally strong, but really a bit slow and ugly looking. But he wasn't a different species. He was just a human that was...
I could just imagine you running in, hey, you guys, and then just going crazy. And
Yeah, something like that. I forgot which class this character was. I mean, it was really fun. It was an orientally themed campaign, so orcs didn't really make sense there.
no.
But
Yeah, no. So, yeah,
we'll pass, I guess, or smash.
publicly pass.
Yeah, there we go.
And the last one on the list,
The kinkiest of them all, I guess.
yeah, maybe, the tieflings. Tieflings, those sexy, demonic, devilish fiends
Demonic devilish fiends. There we go.
I got all three in one description. Yeah, because you have the Abyssal Legacy. They have horns, fur, tusks.
And a tail.
Yeah.
But that's not a dragon. A dragon
Chthonic.
thick. But
They got the Chthonic Legacy. No, but theirs are like more prehensile. Maybe they can get to places that.
yes.
Chthonic Legacy Fiends, which are the fiendish ones, the tieflings. They are more cadaverous. So if you're on like a goth kick.
Always.
And the Infernal Legacy, which are the more devilish, which now makes me think of Bedazzled.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking of Succubi or something like that. I forgot the name of this character. It was from Lady Death. 90s comic were really, really edgy, by the way.
So they get dark vision, and their fiendish legacy grants them resistance and access to spells. I think they're fun, maybe.
Oh, the theme is very flavorful. It's really cool. It's not that overbearing and it's not annoying, but
I think as like options to play, I mean, obviously you can play any class with any species, but I think these can pretty much play anything, and you can find a way to make it work well. I do like the One for All. I don't know if you've watched that. It's an Australian like series of videos on D&D and stuff.
no, I haven't watched.
There's a bard, a human bard. I think she's a half-elf fighter, and there's a tiefling sorceress.
I mean, yeah, if we go
I hope my wife's not watching. I would smash that.
yeah, I guess, and as a species, tieflings in general, yeah, mechanically they're very good. So yeah,
Tieflings smash. And that, I believe, is all of the species.
before now, there'll probably be more coming up sometime soon.
Any smashable species you'd like to see included? Like a Warforged?
Oh, that would be very interesting. The things you could do with that.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, Warforged is definitely one of my favorite species.
Kuotoa, if you're into fish or something like that.
Oh, they got big lips,
Yeah.
big mouths. All right,
Their
that's
mucus.
enough. We need to move on. We're treading lightly here.
We're making the producer really uncomfortable.
All right.
So that's the end of the video. If you haven't already, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And please feel free to leave us your comments, suggestions, and questions below.
Yeah. Also, come and follow us on our other social media like Instagram and TikTok. And you can come join us on Discord over on the Indie Hobby server. Links in the description below.
And as always, remember to rage responsibly. We'll see you in the next episode.